All right, today I, Max Liao, start a new series on the Alien RPG. This one has been requested by a few people and absolutely demanded by Heathen Dog.
That's right.
Pretty much said he was going to throw a face hugger at me if I didn't cover it. So, all right, I'm going to cover it because those things are creepy and I don't want something bursting out of my chest. So, what we're going to do in this first video is just going to be an introduction, a little bit of background to the game. This is a read-through deep dive, so that means we're going to be reading what's in the book, introducing you to the game, and talking about our thoughts about it. And then the next two videos that follow up are going to be the introduction to character creation, what it means to create a character and what careers you can have. But those will be in future videos. So let's get started with the background now. Role-playing games thrive in fantastic worlds and at inclusive tables that embrace these core values for the most positive gaming experience. Donate to the Wounded Warrior Project via the link in the description below to help honor and empower our wounded heroes. On Thursdays and Saturdays, watch Heathen Dog's Dirty Casuals play multiplayer video games over on Twitch. On Sundays and Fridays, join us for tabletop role-playing game content on both YouTube and Rumble. Finally, please take a quick moment to like this video and share it with both your friends and on social media. If you have not done so, please subscribe to Legion of Myth and activate that bell icon to receive notifications of new content. All right, there we go. There's our cover. I wish I had this cover. I actually like this cover a lot. They do really good jobs. Oh my god. 3 Alien books are like 900 pounds. Let's put that one away. I mean, I think all these covers are pretty good. It's the Colonial Marines book, and this is the no, that's the Colonial Marines book, and this is the Building Better Worlds book.
All of these are minimalist and ominous.
Yeah, fits the Alien theme, doesn't it?
It helps set the tone. I mean, the original Alien movie was all about the atmosphere. I mean, most of the time you didn't see the alien in the beginning. The first half of the movie, you saw little pieces of them here and there, kind of like Cloverfield, and it really enhanced the terror effect.
Yes, especially the first one. I saw the first movie at age 6. I saw it in the movie theaters. I convinced my real dad to take me there. He was drunk.
Of course.
And I had nightmares. But do you know what? Some of the best nightmares I ever had in my life. All right. So we're going to scroll down here. It's got a little map. So, you think, wow, there's so much we can do here. Look at all this space that we got. This book doesn't really dive into as much of this as you might think. Now, the good news is any competent game master can use this information and just make adventures however you want using the rules of the game. But this does, I don't know, I was going to say suffer. That's not right. This game does have a bit of corporate and political intrigue in the main Alien movies, which is really only 2. The first one, the second one, all the rest are garbage. You hear about Weyland-Yutani, but you don't really hear about the other ones. Well, this one has political factions, it has the corporate factions. And so there's a lot you can do with the game. And believe me, that Building Better Worlds book is absolutely fantastic for your campaign. Oh, and our fun little face hugger. All right. Sorry, folks, we're not going to look at who you are. This book is probably going to drive Heathen Dog nuts because it is white on black, but doesn't bother me at all.
Hey, on a PDF, I'm fine with that.
Oh, okay. Well, the book's like that, but they do a good job here. Let me just open it. So there's how the book reads. Okay,
they have the text in white, with a white background. That's nice.
It's got a nice. If you look at that, it's got a nice feel to it. Like when you look at how it's broken out. The technical writer and me is driven nuts with all the wasted white space, though. But it is a good layout. They do have a good layout for the books. And we'll see that here in just a moment. Again, the art is just very reminiscent. I love this quote. Space is, by the way, that's the name of the first chapter, Space is Hell. So we're going to talk about that. I can't lie to you about your chances, but you have my sympathies.
Nice.
Just like, wait a minute, what's going on? Bye!
Fun storming the castle.
Yep. I'm going to skip most of these logs and so forth. They just add
flavor.
Yeah, really good flavor, kind of gets your mind into the concept of the game. But we're going to start here with Space is Vast. And since I have the book over there, I need to zoom in more so I can read it. Space is vast, dark, and not your friend. What? Why is space not my friend? Gamma rays and neutrino bursts erupt from dying stars to cook you alive. Black holes tear you apart, and the void itself boils your blood and seizes your brain. Ready to go? Ready to head out? If it starts talking about the dark between the stars, I leave.
Well, this actually reminds me of the 2009 Star Trek, the New Bones, when he was going into space. He was talking about it, and he did not want to go there. You could tell. It sounds like that.
Space isn't as empty as you'd think either. As I said on Rick and Morty, everything's in space. Its frontiers are ever expanding. Rival governments wage a cold war of aggression while greedy corporations vie for valuable resources. Colonists reach for the stars and gamble with their lives. Each new world tamed is either feast or famine. And there are things lurking in the shadows of every asteroid, things strange and different and deadly, things alien. This is the Alien role-playing game, a universe of body horror and corporate brinksmanship, where synthetic people play God while space truckers and marine service host to newborn ghoulish creatures. Like, that's your job. Your job is to incubate. That's all you're here for, right? It's a harsh and unforgiving universe, and you are nothing if not expendable. Stay alive if you can. All right, this is setting a good tone already. Don't you think?
It's setting the tone that you as the player character are not valued by whatever organization you belong to.
Well, hey, at least they're honest, right?
Yeah.
Not trying to trick and be like, no, everybody's gonna have a great time. No, you're all gonna die. No, that's not true. I think we'll get to it in a little bit. One of the things that I'm going to point out right away is that the game master in this game is not called Game Master.
What's he called?
Do you remember the first Alien movie?
Yes.
Who is the Overlord, basically? What do they refer to all the time?
The computer?
Yes.
Mother, right?
You go. You got the game mother. And I like it because I think it sets the tone. I know in this day and age, people would be like, no, it sets the tone. It fits the Alien universe. So the titular alien in all its iterations is a stuff of nightmares, from neomorph to xenomorph. I didn't even know those other terms. I only know the term xenomorph, but neomorph to xenomorph. The mystique surrounding these creatures is mesmerizing. The alien represents everything we don't understand about the natural world. It evokes a fear of our bodies being violated and used. It's a parasitic invader whose only intent is to use humanity to breed and incubate its progeny. I mean, we got soft bellies, right?
Yeah.
The alien life cycle is one of death and renewal, but the only part people play in that circle is, well, death.
You facilitate renewal by dying.
So thank you. You're like fertilizer.
Yeah, there you go.
But the alien saga itself is about more than otherworldly beast. It's about humbling man for his own hubris. Really?
Well, think about it. The whole Alien series can be categorized as giant human overreach and not being ready for what's out there.
I mean, there are aspects of that. Burke is a perfect example of an aspect of, but do you think in the first movie, well, I guess they were trying to sneak it back.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay. It's about motherhood. Really?
About motherhood and family. Just like Deadpool is a family movie, right? So he says
it's about alien motherhood.
Yeah.
It's about motherhood and family, about loss and sacrifice. It wrestles with the question of artificial intelligence and faith. The story of Alien is about creators and their creations struggling for dominance over each other. It's about corporate greed and avarice, and it's about how superior firepower and fancy technology aren't enough to protect you from the horrors of the unknown. I don't know, Nukem from Ort pretty much solved everything. It's about pushing the envelope and sticking your nose where it doesn't belong. Consequences be damned before they damn you. The Alien role-playing game takes you to the rough and tumble colony worlds on the frontier of known space. It's on the cusp of this unforgiving place that your character must face their demons, both the inner and the other kind. And I just said what I didn't want to say. But this book doesn't go into it nearly as deeply as the Building Better Worlds does. It does touch on it. You can absolutely have different creatures out there than neomorphs, xenomorphs. You can definitely have the survival elements of the game to some degree. But if you really want to just bring that out, You need the Building Better Worlds book.
Right. Well, in Aliens, in the beginning of the movie, the Colonial Marines were like, "Oh, it's just another bug hunt," which means there are other monsters out there that the movies didn't actually touch on enough. And so this book should have more, I hope.
The frontier begins on the leading edge of the outer veil, crosses through the outer rim of the known territories, and stretches on into deep space. Located between the core systems and the outer rim, the outer veil is a vast region of space that is abundantly rich in mineral resources. So guess what we do? Let's go get them.
Get it.
The outer rim is extensively colonized, and the colonial navy operates there. Past the outer rim is anyone's guess. And that thrill of the unknown is what draws pioneers here. That's just, nope. I will stay here. Wow, that sounds dangerous. Oh, it is. Well, then why do it? Because the adventure. Yeah, I like to live.
Well, probably a lot of money, too. I mean,
fair.
Yeah.
Stakes and more like investments, right? You're probably not going to get paid up front, but if you find something good.
Oh, you're going to get bank.
Yep. Settlers have likened the sometimes lawless frontier of the Old West to the United States. We'll call it the mythological Old West, because the Old West really wasn't that.
Well, except for, diseases. Simple things will kill you real quick.
Every world you go to. Yeah, I mean, have you built up a tolerance to whatever bug is out there? No, because you're not from there. Here, life is harsh and cheap. On many worlds, atmospheric processors have been brought in to convert the air into something passably breathable. The majority of settlers here are prospectors, entrepreneurs, farmers, and homesteaders. Mining worlds refine ores and fuel, while agri and aquatic worlds harvest food and algae. Space stations such as Anchor Point serve as a neutral staging ground for expeditions into deep space. Neighboring colonies don't always get along, and armed conflicts over stakes and claims are not uncommon, often requiring colonial marines to step in and restore order. The boundaries of the frontier are ever shifting, and sometimes colonies switch hands as border disputes redefine the map. So it's definitely giving you a wild, that's a very Coriolis looking picture, but it gives you a very, wild frontier style. What page am I on? Hold on a second here. Doesn't say. You're not going to tell me what page I'm on? 11. What am I skipping? Okay. All right. It's not skipping this. All right. Let's get a little understanding of who our players are. Where's my mouse? Who the players are in our wonderful little galaxy. Territories of the frontier. While dominated by the United Americas, the frontier is an area intersected by several nation states. An uneasy alliance exists between them, yet territorial disputes are not unheard of. What follows is a listing of the major government players vying for resources there. Come on. The Three Worlds Empire. Consisting of the former United Kingdom, Japan, and several developing countries, the Weyland-Yutani Corporation itself is a result of the formation of the Three World Empire. Created when the UK company Weyland Corp merged with the Japanese Yutani Corporation. The Three World Empire pioneered space exploration, controls many long-established inner colonies, and only maintains a limited presence on the frontier, allowing Weyland-Yutani to take the lead there. We will get much more into the corporations towards the end of this series, week 8, 9, 10, whatever. The United Americas, created in the early 2100s to compete with the expanding Three World Empire, the United Americas was formed by the merger of North, Central, and South America into one nation. See, they got what they wanted. They didn't have to repopulate California. They just... The United Americas, a major colonizing and starfaring power, constantly expanding the frontier. They operate both the Colonial Marines and the Colonial Navy, the most powerful peacekeeping forces on the frontier.
Makes sense.
Yep. So, matching the movie so far, right? The Union of Progressive Peoples.
Oh, sorry. God, that sounds awful.
Guess, what do you think the flag looks like? I'll just put it this way. When you see it, you're going to be like, yep, okay.
I'm thinking of some kind of derivative of Buddy Christ, but all right.
That's more of a derivative of Sino-Soviet.
Oh, okay.
The UPP is a powerful socialist bloc of systems that controls a vast but resource-poor sector of space. Formed from a coalition of countries that include Russia and Vietnam, the UPP is the only government that is not influenced by corporate concern. socialist. It's government corporation. Come on now. A fact that sometimes puts them in opposition to Weyland-Yutani. While they are behind in the arms race, the UPP still maintains a formidable fighting force. A state of Cold War has existed between the United Americas and the UPP for decades. But with recent events on the frontier, all that seems poised to change. So remember, a lot of this was developed in the 80s and when the Cold War was still going on, or 70s, really, right? 70s, when the Cold War was going on. The Independent Core System Colonies. The ICSC is a loose conglomerate of privately owned worlds. Each colony in the ICSC has its own government, many of which are corporate owned. In addition to its operations within the colonies of the United Americas and the Three Worlds Empire, Weyland-Yutani is known to maintain private interests in the ICSC, where they can conduct business as they see fit, far from the prying eyes of government control. Why are they making Weyland-Yutani out just to be the only bad guys? Maybe it's because everybody knows the name from the movies?
Yeah.
Okay, we're not going to read This is Rumor Control, but we will read Dominion Over the Stars. There are going to be small aspects of the book I don't read, but we will read most of it. While governments control the colonies, they aren't the only ones with influence there. Corporate dominance. Although nation-states dominate the stars, it is important to note that the real power lies in the corporations that exist across them. Companies like Weyland-Yutani, LaSalle Bionational, and Seegson are not limited by borders. In fact, they produce and control the technologies necessary for their continued existence of these star empires. The unwillingness of nation-states like the UPP to work with the private sector has left them behind in the space race. See? Corporatist win.
They are behind, but they would argue that they're also safer from control of these, giant mega corporations, whereas everyone else is so reliant on them, they can do whatever they want. And they'll say, well, I'll stop giving you air processors. So die.
God, at the ass end of space, life in the colonies is rough. We haven't read that enough today, have we? Let's just jam it in one more time. This sucks. After being promised a utopia, settlers instead found a frontier existence of drudgery and harsh environment. Okay, come on. Anybody who's moved, go west, young man, was drudgery. You had to renew the land. You had that. I'm sorry, but anybody who goes out, hey, you're going to go terraform Mars. That sounds easy. No. To that end, many have turned to God to get them through their daily rigors. While traditional religions are practiced throughout the colonies, sects of apocalyptic millenarian? Haven't heard that word before.
Millenarian.
Okay, millenarian fundamentalists have arisen as a fanatical cults and zealots driven by charismatic leaders in isolated areas. Okay, recent years have seen the rise of fledgling organizations with questionable motives, such as the practitioners of the holy immolation. That does not sound good at all.
Practitioners of immolation, whether holy or not, is not someone I want to, hitch my wagon to. That's not, I'm good.
Take lots or something? It's your turn. You know what? I've decided I'm no longer faithful. Weird. I don't know how that happened. Oh man. And the cultist church of immaculate incubation.
That sounds even scarier. I mean, it's not as scary as overtly scary as being lit on fire, but incubating what? What exactly? What?
I think, it's alien. I think we have an idea.
I don't like it.
You shouldn't. Yeah. So, by the way, if anybody comes to you and said, "Have you heard the holy immolated word today?" You just say, "Nope, don't want to. Don't. Got mine. We're good." Okay. All right. Ship's log. Here are the facts. The year is 2183, and the Autobots have little more than 3 years since the destruction of the Hadley's Hope colony on LV-426, the disappearance of the USS Sulaco, and the closing of the prison and lead works on Fiorina 161. I'll be honest with you, the third movie was one I think I watched one time. That's one with Winona Ryder, right? Yeah, it wasn't that good.
There you go. Yeah. No, that was the fourth one. The third one I think was the space jail.
Yeah, it was space. That wasn't Winona Ryder in the okay.
Fourth one is when Ripley was cloned, and that one had what's her name in it?
Yeah, because she dies in that third one, doesn't she?
Yes. She kills herself because she's harboring a burster.
Yeah, I thought she was harboring a queen.
It was coming out of her chest. So
yeah, well, fair enough.
She threw herself into molten lava, or molten steel a la Terminator 2. She did that.
So Fiorina 161. Oh, anyway, the loss of the Sulaco's colonial marine unit, along with these Weyland-Yutani-sponsored outposts, and the implications of corporate foul play stemming from these incidents have created an air of distrust between the company and the United Americas. Many frontier worlds have found themselves caught in the middle of the rift and have been forced to make do without either the supplies or defenses they need to survive.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, the United Americas would be a little pissed that you sent our Marines. We sent our Marines to a place that had more danger than was imaginable because you shut your damn hole about it and you just wanted to steal a biological life form illegally and import. Yeah, I get it. They're pissed. They got
if I had a moon base, I might consider stealing it, bringing it back to a moon base, but I wouldn't want to bring it back to Earth.
No.
This is where I live.
Yeah. It's like crapping in your own bed. Don't do that.
Exactly, right? Crew expendable. Great way to start this paragraph. The only publicly made exposition of these events deals only with the aftermath on Fiorina 161. The book is titled Space Beast and is convict Robert Morse's alleged account of an alien dragon that overran the facility and brutally slew 24 double Y chromo inmates on their custodial staff. That was a mouthful right there. Wow.
It was.
The book gives credence both to talk of monsters and to rumors of Weyland-Yutani experimentation with bioweapons, indicating they were more concerned about securing the creature for further study than saving lives. According to, well, that, you know what, to be fair, yeah, that information that happened in the second movie just didn't get back to anybody. That sucks. According to Morse, the hunt to capture the beast had spilled over from the incident on LV-426, and anyone who got in the company's way was expendable, be they prisoners, soldiers, employees, or even colonists. Hey, you got to cover it up, right? Oops. There we go. This one. Although banned instantly, copies of Space Beast have been transmitted illegally throughout the colonies. The book has developed a strong following. Some see it as fantasy, a welcome diversion from their normal lives. Wait, a welcome diversion? Oh, this is such good fantasy. Look, it jumps on the face and it impregnates
How
him.
bad is life for you guys if you think that this tale of horror and betrayal and destruction is like light reading? Like I'm on the toilet, I'm gonna read this thing.
Exactly,
no, man,
right?
your life must suck.
Oh, man. Others have embraced Morse's story and built a millenarian, I'm never going to be able to say that word, millenarian cult around it, believing it to be a religious text and a portent of Armageddon to come. I don't want to live in this universe, dude. I've decided I do not want to live in this universe. This time it's war. I want somebody to say that in Bugs Bunny voice. To add fuel to the fire, conflicts between the rival sectors of space have increased exponentially in the past 5 years. While unconfirmed, many believe that Hadley's Hope was a test site for one of Weyland-Yutani's bioweapons and that enemy states sent a warship to nuke it from orbit. Yeah, revisionist history, but close enough. Others believe that the company is working with a huge rogue nation to assume control of the colonies on the frontier. As more and more colonial marine units are recalled and redeployed to new campaigns, frontier colonists are becoming scared. Without the military, there's no one to protect them from pirates, hostile life forms, or invasion. To compensate, many colonies have enacted their own law systems, electing marshals to oversee daily law enforcement. Some have even hired mercenary forces to protect their interest. The 2180s are a dangerous time to be alive. Yeah.
What? It was all roses and beauty before that? I don't think so.
All right, so here's a timeline. We're not going to read any of this. Well, we're going to read the last one to give people kind of an idea. So it gives what year does it start? So 2023 it starts. So, hey, look, last year it starts and goes on to 2179. We're going to take a look at 2179. Why? Because, or no, I'm sorry, 2180. There we go. 2179 is a shuttle from the long lost Nostromo is recovered. So. And now we're going to move, and that's leading into the second Aliens movie, right? Mm-hmm. So 2180. Boop. The new anchor point station is established. Tensions flare on the frontier as factions accuse each other of foul play during the Hadley's Hope incident. Robert Morse's Space Beast is transmitted throughout the colonies and subsequently banned. Mistrust escalates as rumors of deadly alien life forms and company bioweapons spread across the frontier. That is where you're starting. Well, I think you're actually starting what 2181 or whatever it said. But Kat, I'm too busy right now. You're not getting any treats. Go away. And you can read the timeline for yourself. All right, and that is it for our. Wasn't there something else I wanted to read? Nope. Nope. That is it. Because I have a couple of places where I do skipping around a little bit. So go ahead, and if there are any comments up there, you can.
There is. I got one here.
Okay.
And it's a Nerdy Ogre says, so it's Traveler with the expectation of face-hugging aliens. Is
I think
that true?
I would say no. Well, I mean, you could do that. I would say if you're going to play it in the spirit of the game, it's thematically darker. It's more like Coriolis with space-hugging aliens. And I hate to use the same game style, Year Zero engine versus another Year Zero engine game, but fine.
It's like defining a word using the word. It doesn't work.
Right.
Feels wrong.
But it's. I mean, the main difference between Alien and Coriolis, well, there were quite a few, is that you got the stress mechanic in this game, which we'll talk about in like 2 or 3 weeks. But it's a darker game. It's darker. Now, you could absolutely do that. Could you do this in Traveler? Yes. But Traveler is meant to be generic. You could do Mech Warrior in Traveler. You could do Star Trek in Traveler. Traveler is meant to be pretty generic, while it does have its own. It's what's it? Third Imperium? Is that what it's called for Traveler? But anyway, yeah, I'd say that this is definitely more on the darker side of things, especially once we get into combat. One of the things I want to show, because I remember in the other games, right off the bat, it talked about tools of the trade. And in case it doesn't do it, I'm going to do this now. I do have the cards for the game, just like I did for Mutant Year Zero. You don't. This game does use the initiative card system like Forbidden Lands. Apparently, people really like that system. Like I've told you guys, when I covered Forbidden Lands, I actually roll a D10, and I don't do cards. I don't like cards in my games other than as a reference. But that would be an initiative. But by the way, thank you. Unlike the Forbidden Land ones, where it's hard to tell what's up and what's down, you have to kind of flip it over to see which way the card's facing. Look at that. They put initiative. Look at that, 9. Now you know it's a 9. It's not a 6. So, but it has some of the cinematic characters in here. I wonder who that's supposed to represent, but it's really not, but kind of represent. It's definitely Ripley-esque. But it's got characters in here for your cinematic games, because there is at least one cinematic adventure in the book. It's got equipment. Where's equipment? Okay. It's got equipment cards. So you know what? If you have that vehicle, you can, quick reference for that. These cards are not necessary, but they can possibly add to the game for you. And then the other thing I'm going to show is the dice. And do you remember, Heathen Dog, how many different types of dice there were in most Year Zero engine games?
3 or 4. There's skill dice, attribute dice, equipment dice.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's what they have here. That's the 3.
Yeah. Well, okay. That's what the standard is a base dice, which are, like you said, attribute dice, base dice, skill dice, gear dice. Coriolis just uses 1 die. It doesn't. This one uses 2. You have your base die, which is your skill plus your attribute, and then you have your stress die. Hold on, got it. You want to roll that, right?
No. Probably not.
Okay, you're correct. That's the one. And it even, just in case you weren't sure, it even shows a little. Come on, little 6 on. Anyway, the target, and this one has a target as well. This one does not have a face hugger. So you're rolling the dice. Now the cool thing is about the stress mechanic. We will definitely talk about this more when we get there. But the stress mechanic actually adds dice to your roll. Higher chance of success because you're really focused. You're under stress. Like, I got to do this, but it adds.
But if you screw up your roll, it'll mess up your day.
Yeah, if you get the face hugger.
Yeah. So
you can't get face huggers on just the black dice. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a couple weeks. So, but I just wanted to show those off for the folks that like to see that there's other aspects to the game. No other questions?
No other questions. Just
okay.
Comment. So it's like adrenaline.
Yes, yeah. In fact, I think they word it that way as well. It's like hyper focus adrenaline. But if you get that face hugger, you could find yourself rocking in the corner, even with a monster trying to eat you. Just go, I don't want to do it, man. I don't want to do it. Or you could go all Hudson.
Yep.
You take some.
You take some.
Yeah. So I mean, and anywhere in between. And yes, you can shoot your friends, and you can throw your weapons and just run away, and you can cry. I mean, there's a lot of things that can happen from it. But
so, you know, if
it's
you
friendship.
value your player agency, you may not want to stick away from the stressful situations.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
All right. So in our next video, we're going to start talking about careers on the frontier. Really, we're just going to talk, generally speaking, what the different, what you're supposed to do in Alien, what the different generic careers are. And then in the final video, we're going to look over the specific careers. So look forward to seeing you then.